You tell these girls to get you some food. They don't know their way around a kitchen. Our next guest, the great Sue Costello, very funny. Sue, do you know your way around a kitchen?
Of course I do.
You do, of course.
Yes. I'm Irish.
Yeah, well, what does that mean?
I can make some corned beef.
Do you make a good corned beef?
No. I'm a terrible cook. American chop suey is all we had growing up.
Well,
What is that?
Well, American chop suey? What do you mean?
Elbow macaroni with hamburger and stewed tomatoes. And my mother used to torture us. We used to have to scream up, like from across the street for her to cross us because we couldn't cross the street. So we'd be like, "Ma!" She'd be blow drying her hair, vacuuming, and then
What part of Boston did you grow up in?
Dorchester.
You grew up in Dorchester. Now, is that near Southie?
It's right next to Southie.
So now, you grew up with a lot of brothers and sisters, maybe?
I have 2 sisters and 1 brother.
That's not bad.
No.
That's not bad. Now, are they into comedy too? Are they proud of you? No.
Oh, they're proud of me, but they're not into the comedy.
What do they do?
My one brother works for, the ride he's paralyzed.
Oh.
So
okay.
he
Was
works.
he born that way?
No, he got into an accident.
No,
broke
that's
his-
my father. Same exact thing. My father,
Yeah?
My father, when I was 18, my father climbed roofs for a living, fell off a roof.
What?
'Cause he couldn't move anything from the neck down, couldn't grip, nothing. He lasted 4.5 years like that, and then died.
Oh, wow.
And died. Yeah, he fell 30 feet on his head working. So from the ages of 18, when I was 18 to 22, those ages of my life, he was paralyzed. It's very hard to deal with. Now,
Yes.
how old was your brother?
My brother was 28, I think.
Oh, I hate hearing that. But is he dealing with it good, though?
My brother is awesome. He's hilarious, but he has still some mobility with his
good.
upper body and everything.
Can he grip?
He can't grip.
Oh, okay.
He has that.
All right, yeah. Now my
But
father.
he does he's like a dispatcher for the ride. You
That's
know the ride?
great.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
And people call him and they're like, "You don't know what it's like to be in a wheelchair." And he's like, "Yes, I do."
Yeah, some people could just give up in life and just not. So he's working. He's adding to the economy.
Oh my God, he has a girlfriend. She has kids. They just bought a house.
Now, doesn't it annoy you? Our 2 girls, the twins on the show, they have a huge house that their family owns out in the Hamptons, and they just told me this, that the family this winter, you know what they did? They added a private movie theater.
Oh.
They have their own movie theater in the home.
Is it handicap accessible?
Probably not, because they don't care about other people. They don't care. They're just
They
rich.
don't?
They're just rich people who just don't care.
Some rich people, they have a hard time, Karen.
Memorial Day weekend, they were out there, and I said, well, it was bad weather. All we did was stay inside and watch movies in our movie theater. And it just gets you so mad, doesn't it, when you hear about the rich people? That's why you've gone out and you've made your own stake in life. You made your own money.
I have, and I still am, and you helped me. Can I tell everybody that you helped me?
Go ahead if you
Oh my
want.
gosh, I got my Kickstarter.
Yes, Kickstarter is a website you go to.
And you raise funds for whatever your artistic.
It has to be a creative thing, like a
Your
play.
endeavor.
You're raising money for a film. And another one of my friends, great guy, his name's Chance Kelly, great actor. He wrote a movie, and he's trying to get the funding for it on Kickstarter right now. He was just telling me about it.
Yeah, so they only give you 30 days, and if you don't say you want to raise like $20,000, they only give you 30 days, like at the exact time, 30 days from that moment that you sign up. If you don't have that $20,000, if you have $19,500, you get nothing.
You lose it all.
Yes.
Now, where does the 19.5 go?
What happens is people put it on their credit cards, but they don't charge it until...
Oh, okay. So the people get their money back.
Yes, they never get charged.
Wow.
And so what happened to me was I had 3 hours left.
That's
and
right.
I forget what I needed. I needed a couple
$770.
I think you sent me, but you sent it over the edge because someone else gave a little too. So it went a couple hundred over. And
okay.
Chappie, remember Chappie?
Chappie, the great Kevin Chapman.
He's like, what are you going to do with the extra 200?
Actually, as a donor, I want to know now too. I want prime seats.
You do get prime. You get 4 seats.
So now I went, and I
But
believe,
you did it.
I know. I put you over the top. I believe in Sue. I've always believed in Sue. I've known Sue 20 years, and I've always thought her comedy was great. And she told me her one-woman show is going to be fantastic. So this is a project I believed in. So I got out. A lot of people, right, Sue? A lot of people in this business, they'll just talk a game. I got out the checkbook.
You did. Not only did you get out the checkbook, if I didn't make it in those 3 hours, I would have lost all the money.
I got out the credit card, and I said, my friend Sue needs money for a one-woman show. I'm a patron of the arts.
You're a producer now.
And I'm a producer.
You're just a money producer, though. I don't want any creative input.
All right, no. Jeez. I wanted to go to one of the performances and get out the notes.
You can come and I'll put a big special thank you in there for
I was going to get out the notes and go,
You can give me notes.
Listen, I could tighten this up here, lose this.
I would take
punch it up here. I always want to give you some jokes.
Lawrence Fishburn gave me notes.
Why do you do that? You know Lawrence Fishburn?
Right. Yeah, I know Lawrence Fishburn.
How do you know?
I did a movie with him.
Sorry.
No,
sorry.
I
I'm supposed. I didn't get the memo. I didn't get the memo that you know Lawrence Fishburn.
I wouldn't lie. That's what I meant.
All right,
I wouldn't say.
What movie?
I did a movie with them.
What movie?
Once in the Life. They were auditioning big black men, and they gave me the part.
And they gave him and you the part. What were you, a stand-in?
No, I played a cop.
You played a cop?
Yeah.
A tough-nosed Irish cop.
I did. Sergeant.
And what did he
Sergeant
play?
Neely.
And what
he
did
played a drug addict.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I arrested him.
He is a great actor.
Oh, my gosh.
I just saw The King of New York. Ever see The King of New York with him?
No. 1990,
23 years. Ever see The King of New York, Danny?
Amazing.
Amazing. Christopher Walken is the lead. Plays a guy named Frank White, a kingpin, a lord of crime. He gets out of prison in the beginning of the movie, goes back to his old cronies, and starts killing some guys who betrayed him, and gets his whole gang together. And Lawrence Fishburne plays a drug addict, sociopath killer.
He's amazing.
Who also deals drugs, and he's unbelievable. And he's young. And a lot of people don't know this. A 14 or 15-year-old, maybe 17-year-old, Lawrence Fishburne is in The Deer Hunter.
Do you want to hear the story about when he auditioned for that?
Go ahead.
He walked into the casting director. He had his sunglasses on. He had all his friends with him. He walked into the audition. He took off his sunglasses. He did the lines. He put his sunglasses on. The casting director said, "Can you do more?" He said, "No." And he walked out.
This is for The Deer Hunter?
Yes. Because he's very talented. And I find, like, talented people can have that kind of confidence.
He showed an attitude maybe that they like, you know, like, no, I'm dumb.
Well, and he was also talented.
Well,
and he's
yeah,
also
I know, but
generous.
I'm saying,
He's really generous.
I don't know how this is going to become the Lawrence Fishburne hour, but
Well, you asked me how I got in the movie, so it was when my TV show had just gotten canceled, and I had conjunctivitis, and I looked like that lady from, the cat lady that had too much plastic surgery. And so I went down to Bonnie Timmerman for a meeting.
I know Bonnie.
Right?
One of the best casting directors ever.
Right, so I thought I was just going for a general meeting, and they're like, Bonnie Timmerman makes you wait forever. Oh, my gosh. And I was like, I got time. My show just got canceled. I don't care. And,
very, very, very powerful casting director.
Yes.
Very talented. Casted Glengarry Glen Ross, among a lot of other things. I believe Midnight Run as well. But, she was a fan of mine. She got me in a couple
I could
of movies.
see that.
Yeah.
And so she called me in the office, and he was in the room, and I had no idea that I was auditioning or anything. And she's like, let's put Sue in your movie. And I was like, yeah, let's put me in your movie.
Was Lawrence the director, writer?
He was the director and the writer.
Very talented guy. So now you've had a very interesting career. So all stories like this are in your one-woman show.
Well, that story's not in the show. But
well, I'm just saying stuff about your career, like interesting things that have happened in your life in the last 20 years.
The show is more about, it starts off when I'm 10.
So I'm completely wrong.
Well, yeah, it does.
Well, now I don't know if I want to invest in it.
I know. Too late. You'll have to sue me.
I'm not suing
We're
you.
going to have a fight.
I am not suing you.
No. The show is different from anything. I don't do stand-up in the show. I do stand-up in the show as part of the play.
It's a performance. I didn't think it was going to be a stand-up act. It's a performance.
And it starts off when I'm 10 years old, and it brings you to present day. And it pretty much shows me as a kid, and then how the world and your family and everything makes you repress yourself.
Right.
And then how that makes you screw up your life.
Did you have a lot of those issues with the family?
Well, yeah.
You did?
Yes.
More? Do you think more than a regular person?
Well, I had a lazy eye.
You did?
Yeah, I had to wear a patch. I had glasses and bifocals. No.
You can't tell now at all.
Right.
How old were you when you had that going on?
From I'd say 5 to
I had that
14.
too.
Did you really? You had a lazy eye?
Strabismus and amblyopia.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. I had a patch.
Wow.
I had
they give-
See, I had a lazy father.
Did you have surgery?
I won't even say it. I was going to say something.
That's actually
else.
Did you have
just wanted to do a
eye
joke.
surgery for that?
Did I? No, I just wore the patch for 17 years.
So it worked.
17 years you wore back then? You think that
I
added?
always say that. Those rich girls would have had a surgery
Did that
in 5
add to your?
seconds.
No,
I had to wear a
the rich
patch.
girls. The rich girls would have just bought a hospital. No, but you honestly, did you think that adds to your edge and anger?
Well, they
As
used
a
to
comic?
beat the daylights out.
Oh.
Like, if you showed any vulnerability in Boston, they just beat the daylights out.
Yeah, well,
of
what
you.
about the Red Sox and their vulnerability?
Nah. What about the Bruins? Woo!
Yeah, concentrate on the positive.
All right.
No, but I applaud you. So you've overcome a lot in life.
Yes.
Is there a part in the one-woman show where you wear a patch?
Yes, I start off the whole show with the patch.
Wow.
And everybody, it literally shows like how rambunctious I am and how I ask all sorts of questions, and everybody's just like, so it's a play. So it's a whole
Right,
play.
so woman, do you think in a modern world, growing up, you'd have been like on Ritalin and stuff like that? Do you think, were you a candidate for that, you think?
Yeah, they might have done something.
Probably they would have
just-
tried, because were you that rambunctious and that like out of control?
I was just smart.
Oh,
And I would
well.
ask a lot of questions, and then they told me I was dumb.
Why, because you were inquisitive?
Yes, I didn't miss a trick.
Well, of course, that means you're smart. Why would they say you're dumb? You see, that's terrible.
I think it scared them a little bit. I wasn't
Because
like anybody else.
Here's the problem. You were asking the questions that they didn't know the answers to.
Yes,
so you
I
made
think
them
that's
feel
it.
dumb. So as a
Yes.
defense mechanism, they called you dumb.
Yes.
Thank you.
And put me in my room.
And
And so
that-
I show the whole thing, but it's done in a very funny but also heartbreaking way.
Now, are your parents alive?
Yes.
Have they seen the play?
Yes, they have. And then
What do
people
they-
always ask me that. Like, I think it's every kid that grew up like in a rough neighborhood, a rough family. Your dream is like, let me write this show, and everybody will be like, oh, it's so sad. We're sorry. They're like, whatever, Sarah Bernhardt. Like they just say, oh, she's exaggerating.
But what do they think? What do your parents think of it? Are they insulted by it?
No, because it's not done in an insulting way. And the whole show, the end of the show is about how you have to
No,
let go of all
you just
that.
described for 2 minutes. I can't stand your parents.
Why?
For the 2 minutes you just talked?
But that was the neighborhood. That was
They
the
called you
environment.
stupid.
They didn't. No, the teacher called me stupid.
The
My French
teacher called you
teacher called me stupid.
Why,
And my
you
other
know-
teacher.
Why?
kicked
Did you know
me.
French? I hate the French.
My other teacher kicked me.
What?
Really?
Yes.
Now we're talking about lawsuit, illegal type
I
stuff.
wish but I didn't know that it was inappropriate because I come from Boston, so everybody kicked everybody.
How do you know that's not appropriate? Maybe you are stupid.
Maybe I am, but I can write my own show. and
Of
pretend
course not.
anything
You're
I
not
can.
stupid at
No.
all. You're the fact that you turn in all that negative stuff. I mean, you could either become a funny, talented, creative performer or a serial killer.
Yes,
You know?
absolutely. Or you could turn it on yourself.
Yes.
You could turn the anger on yourself. But I do it in such a way that so the audience goes on a journey where they're like, they get a little like, oh, but they know that I'm in complete control. And it's hilariously heartbreaking. Like literally people are crying and they're like, Sue, I couldn't take another uncomfortable moment, and then you make me laugh. And then what happens is I do stand up in the show.
Right.
So, but it's part of the play because I never break the fourth wall. It's all a
Okay.
vignette. So everything is a vignette. So the first one's a confessional. So you get all your information from my side of the conversation, but it's as if there's other people on stage with me.
Okay.
So when I get to the stand-up part, it's three-dimensional. Because when I get on stage now, they project a lot. They think, oh, she's skinny, she doesn't have a lazy eye, she must have it made, whatever. But
Boy, you got it made. You don't have a lazy eye and you're skinny. F you.
that's how they
Yeah,
are sometimes.
right, no, I'm sure.
And so now when I do the stand-up in the show, not only do they see that my life has already led up to that, but now they see that I made my jokes out of my life. So there's three dimensions to it.
That's the best way to get it, though. That's the best way. You know, I want to talk a little bit about this maybe after the next break, but I just watched the documentary on Showtime about Richard Pryor called Omit the Logic. I have problems with it. I think it didn't delve enough into certain areas of his life about how he became who he was. And I don't think it delved enough into that one particular concert film he put out in 1979. They don't go into the importance of that in the world of comedy. They just sort of glaze over it. They concentrate a lot on the drug use and maybe too much because you just walk away thinking, okay, here's a junkie who could be kind of funny.
Right.
They interview a lot of guys like Chappelle and other comics who I wanted them to maybe delve into more. You don't hear from Gene Wilder, which I don't know why they did. But I missed the first 18 minutes, but I saw the rest of it. And I doubt they talked to Wilder because they would have went back to him. But he grew up in a whorehouse. And in the 70s, he used to say it was a pool hall. But you found out later, his mother and his father and his uncle were pimps. And they pimped out everybody, including his mom. And he had a kid at 15 years old with a woman who his father was also having sex with. Oh. And but you know, he became he was a genius. So a lot of people growing up in that environment, like obviously you didn't have that kind of a severe environment, but all the negatives you had, you were able to, because you're smart and funny, you were able to take that and turn it into a positive, what your act became, where Richard Pryor took literally the experience of growing up in a whorehouse and a real abusive father, to becoming this genius, brilliant, my favorite comic, and a lot of favorite of a lot of comedians of all time, by drawing from all that tragedy in his life. And I tried to mold myself into that too, because I had a lot of tragic stuff happen, not to whine or anything, but you could either just become nothing and just say, the hell with this, the world owes me something, and just sit like a lump on a couch and never do anything, or go out and use a guy like a Richard Pryor as an inspiration. And I'm sure a lot of women, after seeing this show, could look at you as an inspiration and go.
Guys do too.
I mean, literally, for a woman, I mean, how vain women are. At a young age, you're wearing an eye patch, and you have to deal with that. And,
Well, I never, and my mother dressed me like a boy too, so it's taken me a long time to even live like that idea of like. Girls would always be like, Sue, guys check you out all the time and you don't even notice. And I thought that was good because I'd be like, oh, that means I'm not uppity.
Right.
But meanwhile, they would sleep with all the guys.
No, I tell you, the world is cruel, and you can do a couple of different things.
But the show also has to be not so like I wanted to wait until it was like it was entertainment. I didn't want to do the show where it's
no, right. It's not just a
spewing all
preachy,
over everybody.
boring.
Yes,
It's
yes.
got to be, and that's where the comedy comes in.
And the hope. It's very hopeful, even though I'm talking about
That's
stuff
nice. That's nice to have the hope. Absolutely.
Well, I do have a lot of hope because I really. And the other thing I was going to say about Pryor, I didn't know him, but I'm enjoying myself very much now, which is usually hard to do.
Well, that's
after
good. You feel bad for Richard Pryor at the end of this because he never got a chance to fully escape from the misery, and he masked it with drugs, and it just never really ended. And then MS came, and he died a very slow, painful death. It sucks because. I think if he had stayed healthy, his brilliance would have lasted a very long time. He only would have been in his mid-70s by now.